What's going on, family? Welcome back to Israel's Movie Reviews. And today we're going to be discussing The Protege back from 2021. This movie starred an ensemble cast, man. You have Samuel L. Jackson, Maggie Q, Michael Keaton, and that's all you need in a movie like this. Regardless of how this movie played out, I was going to watch it regardless just because of those three names alone. And this movie had a really nice cast alongside those characters that I just mentioned. And this movie was directed by Martin Campbell. And he's been around for a very, very long time. And honestly, I just went into this movie. I just wanted to see kind of like a popcorn flick. And this movie was definitely it. This is a revenge story, basically, with Maggie Q in the main role, in the lead. And I think she does a remarkable job. This movie is not anything serious or anything over the top, but they do give you what you're there for. This movie doesn't lack in that aspect. When you sometimes read that famous stars appear in a movie, and especially a movie that you really don't hear about because you hardly see any ads or any commercials, you start to think for a couple of seconds, okay, is this actor really going to be in the movie for that long? And in this case, especially with Michael Keaton's character, he's really in this film more than I even expected, which was a good thing. You know, I expected that he would be maybe 20 minutes, 10 minutes the most, maybe feature in the movie. But boy, was I wrong, and he's so great in it, It's that Keaton charm that gets you involved in this movie right away, especially when he's introduced in the film. And Michael Keaton, man, I don't know, he's just had this renaissance in the last, I'd say, 10 years or so. And he's just simply amazing in everything he touches. Not only then, but recently, This film concentrates on Maggie Q's character and her missions. And you may already know what she's after if you watch the trailer without spoiling things, but there's still a few surprises along the way. Also, the addition of Samuel Jackson here, he's amazing in everything he does. So, don't really need to speak about him too much. Just adding him to the movie made that movie just a bit top-notch, a little better. And trust me, you're going to enjoy his character and his involvement and what he means to the film. And, the action is quite choreographed well. I was shocked. Not that I, wasn't expecting great choreography, especially Maggie Q. We all know she's a great martial artist. But I was more shocked with Michael Keaton's character, who gets a lot of fight scenes, and you can tell. Even if there was a stunt double there, obviously, because of his age, they did a really remarkable job of making it look real. And Maggie Q, Michael Keaton, and others probably did obviously a small percentage of their stunts, but trust me, you wouldn't even notice. And, but that's what, stunt people are there for, right? To make sure that these actors get their money and make sure that they look as real as possible on screen. And let's not forget, the movie was made by director Martin Campbell. He's known for movies like this, which is the reason, this was shown in theaters in America. Unfortunately, not in Germany, though, right? I can imagine the impact that this would have had on the bigger screen, too. I think overseas, this movie would have been a hit. But, obviously, we will never know because it's not the same as America here, right? But overall, this movie was very well made, even if it has that, cliche vibe at times. But the actors and the action make up for that. Also, the story does take place in many places, and it takes you to wild places. That's what I loved about the film. You get action scenes in a big-ass house. You get action scenes in the street. You get action scenes in kind of a forest-looking place. For better or worse, this movie sets you out on a course that you're not going to regret watching. But I'd argue mostly that the movie could have been a little better. The story, to me, was pretty unoriginal. For me, what I liked about the film was the conversations and the dialogue. It lacked wit, and the characters, sometimes came off flat. The Protege attempts to make a played-out genre its own by adding, different dialogue, awkward banter, and misfired quips. The action, like I mentioned before, while fair, is the clear focus of this production. You can tell from the very beginning, because the plot, let's keep it real, it's clunky. It can be uninteresting at times. Maggie Q's, style of acting is a little bland at times. She tries to achieve the assured demeanor that the script is hoping for, but she comes across wooden and sometimes even forced. But not necessarily, I don't really give that her fault. Maybe that was the direction of the film. Maybe this is, the notes that they were taking and told her, look, this is the way I want you to go with the film. You never know. This isn't solely her fault, since the dialogue in the film could have been better. I wish she could have been cooler than it actually was, than it actually came out to be. But Maggie does elevate the role in a very meaningful way. So I'm not going to knock her for it. I think she was amazing regardless. But from a technical perspective, the Protege is decent enough for you to get through. It's action-packed. And if, you like me, very detailed, the plot is going to get to you in different ways. You're going to be like, damn, this could have been better, or they could have did this here, or that would have been a nice surprise. But the action in the film is the redeeming quality here, because the shot choices, a lot of the visual aspects, the videography is beautiful. The choreography, like I mentioned before, was up to par. And the special effects, for the most part, are all adequate. Once the music even enhances the fight scene to highlight juxtaposing emotions at hand, yet this is it's very outweighed by the contrived and cringe writing of the writing team in this film in almost every way. The film fails the audience because the story, like I mentioned before, is a little unoriginal. The conversations lacked a lot of wit. You want to make sure that, especially in a movie with Samuel Jackson and Michael Keaton, you want to make sure that the script doesn't fail in the writing aspect. You want a dialogue that's smart, especially in an espionage film like this. And some of the characters, like I said, came out pretty flat. The Protege outright tells us how to feel instead of giving us reasons to care. Leaving viewers to groan at a marginally subpar piece of work. But overall, solid. I think this movie was dependable, meaning that it was very constant throughout, pretty action-packed from start to finish, which makes this revenge story extremely watchable. Even the obvious twists in this movie, you either get it or you're gonna be surprised. And usually it's surprising, or maybe not even surprising for certain people, but in this particular detriment, I'm gonna say, this movie might end up overrated or underrated, depending on how you like to see films. So, take this with a grain of salt. This was a gritty action with a trio at the top of the line. Anything that these people touch, meaning Samuel L. Jackson, I'm in. Michael Keaton, I'm in. And even Maggie Q. This movie made me think a lot about Maggie Q, because I'm like, okay, she's one of the few people that haven't been in a Marvel film. And I think she will play a great addition, especially maybe in the Shang-Chi franchise down the line. I think she was that amazing in this film, and it could have been slightly better, but it does what it's supposed to do, I give this movie a solid, I'm gonna be nice to give it a 7 out of 10, just because the action to me was really top notch here. But I'm gonna leave it at that, 7 out of 10. So definitely, man, go watch this film. Let me know what you think in the Discord. Is Maggie Q what you expected in this film? For somebody who's in her 40s, she's still moving like she's 20. Was Michael Keaton's performance top notch to you? It was to me. And did you like Samuel L. Jackson's character, which he plays a bad mother? You already know. But that's my review in a nutshell. Please like this video, subscribe, share with your loved ones, and I look forward to seeing you in the future. Peace.